Hey up and welcome to a new video, and today we're going to be looking at what remains of one of Bradford's most promising tourist attractions that failed miserably, and it was called Transperience. I'm going to be taking you all around the site of where Transperience used to be. There are lots of things to be found, including this building behind me. But before I do that, I just need to tuck into my Greggs sausage roll because it is absolutely freezing. So I'm sat at one of the trolleybus stops for Transperience. Nothing coming along today, I'm afraid. That's good. You can't beat a hot, crusty, warm sausage in your mouth in the morning. That sounded terrible, Darren. Absolutely terrible. Ignore that bit. Now we're going to start here on the rather aptly named Transperience Way, which is the road that used to head into the site, and it's still called that, I believe, today. And right behind me there is the M606 heading into Bradford that way, and the M62 at the bottom there. We're going to head straight down here now into this large and ambitious tourist attraction, and I'm going to show you everything that remains today. So as we head down here today, you can see it looks nothing like it would have done. Obviously that's why we're here. It's all industrial units today and builders' yards and things like that. And you've got the main railway, the Manchester Railway at the bottom there behind the fence. The first thing to see is where this building is on the left here would have been one of the overspill car parks for the attraction. And there was also another one on the right hand side just there, which is now a builder's yard. And we reached the roundabout just at the bottom here. Again, that was the entrance over there into the overspill or the main car park. And there was also another one right there where this big industrial unit is today. So that was the main car park, I believe. And the roundabout is original from the attraction. So directly where I'm stood now would have been a large brick building, which I'll put a photo in. And that would have been the visitor centre or the main ticket office for the Transperience attraction. Now I'm just going to head down here and show you a photo fade. This road right here would have been originally in this position because this is one of the old tram routes, and we'll see that shortly in a photo that I'll show you. But then right in front of me where them trees are, behind that would have been the visitor centre, and there would have been a large turning circle pretty much where it curves off now, and it would have turned around sort of behind them trees and then back round here. That was where the trams or the trolleybuses turned round. So it was the end of the line in effect. But as we head down this way on the original road here, this building on the left is one of the only remaining buildings from Transperience, and it has been cut in half because there used to be a section over the road there where it used to cross over and the trams or trolleybuses used to go underneath, and then the other part of the building was on this side, which has been demolished. But you can see it's been recladded, but you can see it's got the original roof. And I'm going to do a photo fade now and just show you what that would have looked like. Side of this building here would have been large glass windows and a big doorway, which was an entrance into the, well, I wouldn't say workshop, but it was more like a display centre where they had a few old trams and things on display. If you look closely at the brickwork at the bottom, you can kind of see where it was joined on, or they've been repairs to it over the years, because that would have been open, like I say. As we get down here, you can see it's now a dead end. Like I said, it didn't used to be. It used to continue straight forward and then make a sharp turn to the right and into the rest of the site. Whereas today this building's been built right on top of it. And if we just look through the fence there, you can sort of see the route that the road would have took. There's trees here now, but yeah, straight forward and then a sharp turn to the right just underneath where the building is today. Yeah, this is only one of a few remaining pieces that are still in the original alignment. There is a major section further down which we'll go check out right now. So if you're familiar with Bradford, you would remember that there used to be a large trolleybus museum on Ludlam Street. And that was what moved up here. Basically, they were looking for a new home because they'd sold the original site off. But the original plan for it was to be built next to Eureka in Halifax, which is the Children's Science Museum. But again, they ended up here, just off the Euroway estate in Bradford, which I can kind of see why they chose it, because it's right next to the M62 and the M606. So it originally opened in 1995, and the final cost was believed to have been around £11.5 million. And it was opened by Ken Morley, who was at Reg Holdsworth in Coronation Street. It covered 16 acres across the whole site. It's worth noting that the council, or Bradford Council, were dead against the whole project. I don't know why, because if anything, it would have been a boost to tourism, even though it failed. Now, as I said at the start of the video, this museum or tourist attraction failed miserably, and miserably it did, because it was only open for just under 2 years. It closed in 1997 under a huge debt pile. The land that we're on now was sold in 1998, and all these buildings that are on it today are just industrial units. But when it closed, not all was lost, because all the collection of trams and trolleybuses all went to other museums in the area, and some of them ended up at the Keighley Transport Museum, so they're not too far away from here. Now we're coming up on one of the major remains of the site, and it's the old auditorium, which was a mid-stop at the museum. So the buses and trams, etc., used to stop right here and continue down the bottom end to the rest of the site, which was further down there. And here we are on the other side of the fence. Now don't worry, it is wide open, so you can go in anytime you like. And right here is the auditorium. And I'm stood here on the original roadway, which would have carried the trolleybus and trams, etc. I think the tram was over there where the footpath is, and the trolleybus is stopped here. But it's sheer ice down there, so I'm being careful where I'm walking. Here's a better view of one of those lampposts. It's stuck here in the middle of nowhere for no reason. Right there, painted in the original colours, I believe. So before we go in the building, I just want to take a look up here. Now you can see that I'm stood on a raised platform, and there is a curb edge just down here, as you can see. So that signals the platform where they used to pick up and drop off here. Anyway, I'm going to try head through there. And the beauty of doing this in winter is you can navigate through the brambles and the bushes like this, even though you still get whacked in the face. So it's hard to believe where we are now is the continuation of the road from behind the industrial unit. So left to right here was the width of the road, and you can tell because there is a lamppost right there, and there is one just over here. There you go, you can see the other lamppost. So in between those two lampposts was the roadway as it headed towards me. Now under here somewhere is probably some old tram lines, but yeah, no chance today because it's all overgrown and brambles, etc. And some of the old workings for the lamppost here, but it also would have carried the trolleybus lines as well. You can see the connections near the top where the lines would have been suspended between the two posts. It's only when you get to this section that you can see the tarmac popping out from the brambles there. Anyway, let's head down to the auditorium and take a look around. Some of the old railings just outside the building as well. Surprised they've lasted, but they have. And what I can see over there looks like some, I don't know if it's steel fencing or is it tram track. It's hard to tell. Or tram rail maybe. I don't know. It's the right shape, but it looks like some kind of racking unit or something. Yeah, and this old building, I think it used to be some kind of auditorium, like a cinema building. Let's have a look round. But yeah, on this site used to be an old engine shed as well, a small one. So it is built on top of that. And it's all pretty much overgrown now. Here's round the back of the building. Yeah, not much to see. They have well and truly sealed this up so you can't get in now, but and just in the trees here is what remains of one of the old entrances from the main road here into Transperience. Used to head down here into the site, and look at this, an old turnstile just stood there in the middle of nowhere. That is so weird, just to see that stuck in the middle. Does it still rotate? That's what I want to know. Oh, it does. It still turns round. Must be well greased, that. Obviously the one on the other side is gone, but wow, so random. And there's the building just in there that's all boarded up now. Right, let's see if it still works. Just one, please. Tickets, please. It does, it still works. That's pretty amazing after all these years that's been sat there. And it doesn't even squeak. That's definitely well oiled. Right, before we head down the bottom end of the site and look at the rest of it, I just want to talk to you about why it failed. So firstly, right in front of you there, just through the arch, is the new Lowmore station. The original one used to be over there. And I've done a video on that old station there, so if you've not seen it, check that out. But that's the new one that only opened a few years ago, probably 10 years ago now. So that didn't exist when the museum was here. So that would have been a good help to the museum. However, it's no use today. Also, I'm told by somebody that used to work on the marketing team for Transperience that their marketing budget was absolutely abysmal. It was believed to be about £150,000 a year marketing budget. That is not a lot of money for a marketing team, especially of an attraction of this size, and they needed to be advertising it over a large distance as well. So they had absolutely no chance of any TV adverts or anything like that with that kind of budget. And one of its other failures, and again, I don't know if this was just bad oversight or what, but these bridges here, when the lines went underneath, especially with the cables, the power cables for the trolleybuses, any double-decker trolleybus, which they had a large collection, couldn't fit underneath either of these bridges. I mean, this one is tiny, but I believe the actual lines ran through this one here on where the path is today. And yeah, and it's just not enough clearance up there for the lines and the trolleybuses, so that was a major oversight. They only ran single-decker transport on this system. I'm also told as well that the museum kind of didn't know what it wanted to be. It tried to appeal to the transport enthusiasts, and it also tried to appeal to general members of the public, and it was a rather confused message because the transport enthusiasts didn't think it was detailed or thorough enough to come and make another visit, and all the general public thought it was a bit too over their heads and a bit geeky for their liking. Now this just about sums up the reason why it failed, because I remember in the mid-90s when it was open, we got told in school assembly that we were going on a trip at the end of summer. We got told we were going to the Transperience Museum, and I'm not lying, the whole room sighed and went, oh, because all we thought was it was just a load of buses and trams going up and down, and that was it, and a load of boring museum things. That's the perception that we had as kids, so imagine what everybody else thought. It just didn't appeal to us at all. We were gutted that we weren't going to Alton Towers or Flamingo Land or Lightwater Valley. Instead, they were going to bring us here. So the message must have been so clear, because the deputy head of the year turned round and said, I take it you don't want to do that then, and cancelled the trip, and we ended up going to Alton Towers instead. And just up on the footbridge at Lowmore Station, you get a good idea of the site here. So the first section of the site is all behind us over there, the other side of this road bridge. And the auditorium is just there, and then the rest of the site was all down here. So you had the large shed there which stored the trams and a big turning circle in front of it, and then the line continued down there to the very end where there was a big adventure playground and some other exhibits as well. So let's head down that way. In fact, I've just noticed, if I zoom in for you now, you can see some of the tram lines are still down there in the floor. Now I do believe a couple of years ago they were everywhere around here, but a lot of it's now been resurfaced. But right here was what was called the exploratory, and it was another part of the museum. Now it did stand long after the museum closed, and I believe it was here up until about 5-6 years ago, until it was demolished. Again, there on the right hand side you can see another blue lamppost, and there is another one further down as well. So you can see how far down the site it continued. Now where we are now is the former track bed of the Spen Valley line, the old railway. And I believe as much as the tram track followed the original line, up until about that corner there, it then branched off that way, so it didn't come down this way. It was at a higher level, as you can see, just up there. Okay, a quick photo fade from here, just to show you the exploratory that was right there in front of us. I'm going to bid you farewell. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Any comments down below? Did you come here? Did you experience it? Also, the new feature called Hype. If you fancy hype in the video, please do. And subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye for now.